Friday, 11:20 p.m. Eastern Time. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. Top of the ninth, Game 1 of the World Series, 11-4 Toronto. And Laura is trying to close it out. An absolute rout. Something in me told me that Toronto would find a way to win this game. And lo and behold, I went with the Dodgers to win it. They even placed a little shekels on them. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. We'll talk a little Knicks, Celtics as they run easily over the Celtics tonight and advance 2-0 on the early season start to the NBA season for the New York Knickerbockers. Thank you for joining us. If you come with us on Twitch or YouTube, appreciate you as always. Keep showing up. It's your boy Matty B. I will be with you shortly. All right. Get settled in. Hope you're enjoying yourselves on this Friday night. All right. Friday. Toronto's closing it out against the Dodgers right now. Game 1, 11-4, 2 outs. 1-1 count for Laura right now. What's going on? What's going on? We're gonna get it going, baby. Our lot going on this Friday night, 11:26 p.m. Eastern Time. It's been a little bit since I've been with you guys. Looking forward to it tonight. Don't know how much, how long. Alright, so please join me. Do whatever you gotta do. We'll be getting this show on the road in a second. Alright, as always, keep showing up. Like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Do whatever you gotta do. Support the channel. We appreciate you. And that's it. Whether you're coming from us with Twitch or YouTube right now, sorry for the viewers on YouTube. I got 2 live streams up right now. I don't know what the hell that's about. But I will be right back. We will get this show going. I want to hear from you. Whatever it is. Sports, politics, however your day went. I want to hear from you. Let me know. Alright, in the comments, call me, message me. Alright. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. is episode 43. We are going to be recapping Game 1 of the World Series, Knicks versus Celtics. What's going on tonight as well? We'll recap that. But you got Dodgers. You got Toronto coming on top. Proving the doubters, proving everybody else wrong, saying that they're not worthy. And yet they showed you. On top of that, we will get into the NBA scandal, the gambling scandal, with Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, the Mafia, all the 4 Mafia families involved, the Lucchese's, everybody, the Gambinos, and a little bit more. All right. Thank you for joining us, Epis Sports Radio, episode 43. Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio, episode 43. Alright, how you doing on this wonderful Friday night? I hope your week went well. Alright, we're going to get into a little bit. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight. It's been a long day for me. But I do want to recap what's going on in the sports world. Obviously, the whole gambling scheme between the Mafia families, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, the whole night, everybody involved. There's so much to talk about in regards to this. I don't know what you call it at this point. Just this groundbreaking, game-changing situation that's taking over the sports world right now, as you can imagine. Right, it's going to change the landscape as we know it in regards to gambling. It's just going to change the landscape of everything in the sports world. I truly do believe that. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. Thank you for showing up. As always, it's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio, live on Twitch and YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you got to do to keep the channel going. We appreciate you as always. All right, let's get this show on the road. Keep showing up.
Remember where it was. Has this dream stopped?
Broadcasting from the capital of sports, it's The Matty B Show. Right here on Epis Sports Radio.
Matty B! On Epis Sports Radio.
Into the air. To deep right center. That ball is high. That is far. It is gone.
Very deep as White hits one deep to left field. Headley back near the wall. It's out of here! The Mets win the ball game!
All right, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Holds it in. The Jets win in overtime.
Chauncey Billups. Illegal poker games? What are we talking about, people? Matty B! But before we get into all of that, we gotta talk my New York Knickerbockers. Hey! What's going on, everybody?
Whatever it takes to make it to you, I do it all again. Get there fast as I can. I gotta get there. Friday night Knicks, I'm a fan. I gotta get there. Please understand. We're talking Friday night Knicks on MSG. Got front row seats. I'll do it just to get there.
Yeah, baby! How about it? My New York Knickerbockers, baby. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm happy. I'm jiving. It's a beautiful thing. 11:37 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for joining us on Twitch and YouTube. All right, I appreciate you. As always, if you're joining us in post or live, please like, comment, follow, subscribe, the whole nine. Keep the algorithm moving, baby. We appreciate you. All right. And when I mean me, we, I mean me. You know, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. It's a beautiful Friday night. If you're a Knicks fan, there's a lot to be happy about. I don't know. If you're a LA Dodger fan, there's not too much to be happy about. God damn. Game 1 of the World Series kicks off, and what a doozy. Started out pretty good for both teams, I would say, and then just kind of fell to shit for one team, a.k.a. the Dodgers there. Toronto handling business at home. I don't know if we have a final as we speak. I think we do. Yeah, we're finalized now. 11-4. The Blue Jays beat the Dodgers in Game 1. A big grand slam, midpoint. You know, we'll get into it the whole nine. But the big story right now in the sports realm is the whole gambling scheme. However you call it, gambling, throwing games away. Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famer, coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Terry Rozier, player of the Miami Heat, currently active, involved in a huge gambling scheme that not only involves them, but 4 different families of mafia families in New York. You're talking about the Bonanos, the Gambinos, the Genoveses, and the Lucchese's. All right. 4 different mafia families involved with a Hall of Famer, Chauncey Billups, current head coach, now former head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Terry Rozier, current player of Miami Heat, who, ceremoniously sat out Game 1 because of clearly the looming allegations against him. Taking place. And listen, I'm gonna get into it, all of it. There's a lot to unpack. We're learning everything as we go. It is just amazing to me, how the gambling landscape of things has changed the world of sports, which we know it. And this is a prime example. And clearly the FBI was trying to make an example out of not only the NBA, but the mafiosos involved with this scenario, everything about them. But not only did you unpack this otherworldly issue that is taking place in not only basketball, but probably worldwide in regards to a lot of sports. Football, soccer, whatever it is. Hockey, I'm sure. I would say hockey's probably on the lowest totem pole of all of it. But who knows? I don't know. When you start to really look into it and see, the corruption is rampant, and I just think this is the tip of the iceberg in regards to the whole gambling issue. And we're hearing these reports. I'll play some clips for you later in today's show about it. I'll play some clips from Chauncey. I'll play some clips from FBI. Just the whole report. What we're hearing is that Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier were basically figureheads for this whole inside scheme in terms of rigged poker games. At least in regards to Chauncey Billups. He was truly the figurehead in terms of these rigged poker games in which, you're dealing with four mafia families, the Bonanos, the Gambinos, the Genoveses, the Lucchese's, in which they were using X-ray technology, both through eyeglasses and poker tables in itself. And yes, you need to understand that this type of technology is readily available online. Anybody can purchase this. There are poker tables in which they have X-ray tech, and in which you can, place any deck of cards down, face down, and you will be able to see transparently, what the cards that are being dealt on the table at that time, what exactly the cards are. Now, what is Chauncey Billups' role in all of this? Apparently, from the reports I'm hearing, that he was just this figurehead to bring in big whales, aka people that are willing to spend the type of money that obviously you would want to draw in for a big haul for this type of scheme. Now, we are also hearing that Chauncey Billups was quote-unquote unaware of these allegations, but yet had received had received wire transfers upwards of $50,000 from these mafia families as a form of payment in regards to these poker games. Apparently, we're hearing it had gotten so bad to the point that Chauncey Billups was winning so much in these rigged poker games that he was actually being told from those in control of the situation that, he needed to lose more. That he needed to throw more games. That he literally needed to take a step back and, lose a couple of hands. Do your thing. Which I believe. Me being a poker player myself, I understand, the mind game, the mindset that it takes, even when you know what somebody has, which is the ultimate advantage. Poker is still the type of game that in which allows you to maybe second guess the person opposing you. And I think the biggest part of all of this is that it just amazes me that a guy like Chauncey Billups, who was a Hall of Famer in his own right, and who has made quite a bit of money in his own time. I could pull up the numbers for you. I don't have it right now, but we're talking millions of dollars over his time as an NBA player, and now, current NBA coach, former NBA coach now. After we talk about it, even though he had made statements claiming that he can't wait for his day in court, and that, basically regarding that he had no play in all of what's going on. Do I believe Chauncey Billups is at the core of this whole issue that has taken place? This whole FBI investigation that's been taking place for now, a little over 2 decades, potentially. No. I think Chauncey Billups is a bit more self-reflecting and, just a more man of character to, go by the wayside and succumb to this type of corruption. But at the same time, I could see a guy willing to take a payment, willing to say, hey, listen, if you could just show up for us and, put on a smile and do what you're going to do and, schmooze the guests and, just pay attention, wear these glasses. And they say, all right, listen, we got this little poker game going on, wear these glasses, you're going to be able to see whatever hands in there. All right, listen, afterwards, you don't say nothing, you make it look good. Well, why are you low 50,000? All right, Chauncey. All right. I could get on board. And listen. I'm not even knocking the guy. Is it messed up? Sure. The people who showed up to those private poker games, whether they were sanctioned or not, and that's up for litigation. I don't know. Yeah, nobody's saying that these arranged games were sanctioned or not. Were they in states in which it falls underneath the gambling laws? I have no idea. I'll look more into it just for the sake of show. But it's irrelevant. Whether it's sanctioned or not, legal, The fact of the matter is, you definitely misconceived other players at that table. Being a poker player myself, you brought other people in, giving them the assumption that they had a chance. That if they would throw that money down and throw those chips in, that they actually had a buyer's chance at winning. And clearly, the corruption was so rampant that it resulted into an FBI investigation that succumbs for over a decade, and just here we are. A revered Hall of Fame coach. Let me revise that. A revered Hall of Fame player turned potentially Hall of Fame coach. Now what? Now looking at jail time. Looking at just a disgrace. An example set by the FBI, which, I think there's a lot to be said about that as well. The fact that, they made this move just a day after the, we kick off the 2025-26 season. A part of it, for me, just rubbed me the wrong way, personally. Why do this now? Of all times, you know what I mean? It just seems a bit convenient. Especially when you look at the clips of Terry Rozier and you go back last season, this preseason. And maybe I'll, throw that up for you guys in one of the shorts if I make a short out of this. It's almost obvious. Especially when it comes down to Terry Rozier. I mean, he was just throwing games, enabling turnovers that just, weren't even forced, weren't even potentially invoked by the opposition. And again, this is not the first example. We've seen this throughout the league. It's starting to seem as if it's just a product of our day and age. It's the sports world in which we're growing up in. I'm not really sure what you're going to do about it in order to change it. But something has to change, surely. There's a lot of pressure on current NBA players, just current athletes overall, on a day-to-day basis. If they're dealing with a large contingency in terms of crowd, they hear it. I have no doubt that they hear it. Oh, I need a hit from you. I need 1 or 2 hits. Oh, I need 3 rebounds. I need 4 rebounds. It's nonstop. And the player themselves, they're kind of put in a predicament, especially the guy that's coming off the bench, not getting starting time, like Terry Rozier. Honestly, he's the perfect example. But you can make the same argument, like, why do they need the money? And let me look real quick what Terry Rozier's contract is. Just to give you guys an idea. And why maybe just give you a little insight as to why this type of guy would, resort to the gambling aspect of things, maybe throwing a couple of games, messing up a couple of plays, or providing insight information to big whale type gamblers, aka people that are just willing to spend money. The current contract for Terry Rozier, just to give you some insight. All right, the cap hit this year, $26 million. And the cash value of his contract and career earnings now. Career earnings alone for Terry Rozier, $160 million. Okay? The 2025-2026 cash consideration for him in regards to his contract is $26 million. You do the math on that real quick. All right. $140 million was earned in his career elsewhere outside of the 26 million. Now, we could also do some further math, and we could break down the taxes spent, the money spent towards agents and this and that, advertisements, what have you. Still, that's a decent number in career earnings, no doubt. I think when you're looking at my career earnings in terms of what I do in terms of drawing blood and working for Northwell Health, my numbers are probably, actually, I would think it exceed that significantly. So it's not a lot of money, that Terry Rozier has made in his time. So you look at a guy that born in 1994 that, might just succumb to that type of influence and say, hey, hey, you can make a quick buck if you do this, you do that, play the unders, whatever it is. I think I had a clip for you guys as well in regards to what exactly was being played here. And I think I do right here. Yeah. Let me pull that up for you guys and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But this is what I'm talking about. We're talking about, these NBA players playing the unders, playing prop bets amongst themselves, playing the points under and causing it. Is this what we want as a product? Is this what we have always dreamed of as kids growing up? Do we really, truly want to watch this and believe? WWE and wrestling in general was a whole nother thing in its own right. And, at least you give credit to them that they were honest and basically told us that, yeah, the product in which you were watching, that the product in which you were watching is not necessarily genuine. It's scripted, and, well, too bad, it's whether you like it or not. And it shows that as a society, we have grown, we have approved of it, and we've moved forward. But why don't we apply that same standard to sports? When clearly there is rampant corruption, not only in basketball, but baseball, football, soccer. It is all over. Why don't we hold it to that same standard? Why don't we look at it and just, okay, well, it's misinformed people, or just uneducated, and we can resolve that. I don't buy into it. All right, I have a clip now that I want to play for you. All right, the so-called Operation Nothing But Bet involves 6 people, including Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. The alleged scheme involved planning around when players would be sitting out future games or when they planned to pull themselves out of games due to injury. The group allegedly relied on NBA insiders to place thousands of dollars in sports bets through an online sports book and in casinos. All right. It just gets deeper and deeper as you go. I will play this audio from the person in charge here in New York. You gotta listen to it. It's good. Here we go.
Operation Nothing But Bet exposed a gambling ring built around professional basketball, where players and associates allegedly used inside information to manipulate prop bets on major sports betting platforms. They placed wagers on unders on players to score less, rebound less, assist less, using information that was not yet public. In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets paid out. One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics.
What was that?
Rozier exited the game
million?
after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. The first case,
baby.
Operation Nothing But Bet, exposed a gambling.
We're repeating ourselves there, but Operation Nothing But Bet, as you heard right there. Wow. You're talking to tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, in profit. All from a guy that is mediocre at best, who is clearly, if you look at the footage, clearly throwing games, clearly just shoving aside the integrity in which we know it in basketball and throwing games, saying, hey, my profit is more important than your entertainment, and you know what? I'm not making too much money as it is, so I might as well benefit on the corruption, and which inherently, as an athlete, you would think he's against, but clearly not. Clearly not. And that's just, one example from New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, giving an example of Terry Rozier allegedly. I don't know if you could throw around the word allegedly at this point, but Terry Rozier participated in illegal NBA gambling, and it just gets deeper and deeper as you go. And again, I'm not gonna pull it up for you right now here on the live. If you look hard enough, if you search hard enough, you could even see as recent as this year's preseason games where Terry Rozier is clearly throwing, and promoting those under bets that are benefiting those who are in the know. I mean, it's just that simple. Chauncey Billups apparently accused of providing, big insider whales, aka big insider people with money willing to spend for whatever godforsaken reason, whether it be just gambling addiction or what have you. But people nonetheless willing to spend that type of money to not only spend that type of money, but change a shift in a global gambling scheme that would not only benefit them in the long run. Crazy, and not only that, I'll pull the clip up for you as well. But we're using X-ray technology in these types of rigged poker games that Chauncey Billups is being the former figurehead for. I mean, what in the hell are we talking about? For me, it's almost as if like why? Especially when you're looking at a guy like Chauncey. Listen, I don't know. We broke down his numbers earlier in his career earnings, things like that. It's not a lot if you're comparing it to other players in the modern day. But it is still significant in its own right, and you would think it's sustainable to live a long time. But maybe not. And clearly not in this scenario, because, I just hear it back, from, people, that I'm close to, or, in this age group, and, there seems to be a slight divide and slight misunderstanding, and, this is certainly, when it comes to politics, certainly one of them. I don't have all the answers, and I don't pretend to. But, something clearly needs to change in the gambling aspect of things, because as much as I like to throw a couple of shekels every now and then, I did tonight and actually lost $30 down the drain. I think it's the lowest form of a human being to stoop to that type of level that enables you to let another team win, or let a person, another person just suffer and wait longer. All because, you just don't want to, take the necessary steps and do what you have to do. I think that matters, man. I truly do. I think it matters, and I hate to see it. I sometimes question it, in regards to my own content. Hypercritical of myself, but I think, we need to look past, and we need to understand that people are human, people make mistakes, but hey, man, at the end of the day, when you're not playing by the rules and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's also hard to make the argument and support you in the long run. Man, I just think, we're kind of teetering on that level of, there's some people we should support, some people we should not. You don't really know. At the end of the day, oftentimes the true colors of those in which you are working with and those in which you are interacting with on a daily basis, the true colors of that person really does, come to fruition. And, unfortunately in this instance, I think it did. I'll hold myself accountable and understand that, there's some improvements to be made, that there's, maybe I'm kind of viewing it the wrong way. I don't know. I'm going on a lot of tangents here. I know it's a late Friday night episode 43. All right. I did promise you a full recap of Game 1, World Series, Jays, Dodgers. Listen, man, a part of me really thought that the Jays would win this game. And clearly they did, and clearly they handled it with passion and just drive, and unlike any other team. And good for them to finish off the deal 11-4, and really put the nail in the coffin Game 1 and put the pressure on the Dodgers, who none of us seen coming. Like I think me and a lot of folks, predicted Dodgers to win this series in 5, maybe 6. Sorry. And here we are, after Game 1, 11-4 victory. What's his name with the grand slam? Another big time grand slam in this game. That just shifted everything. A 9-run 6 inning. Let's just throw that out there. 2-2 going into the bottom of 6th, and Toronto putting up a 6-run, a 9-run 6 inning, and give credit to the Dodgers. They came back next inning, scored 2 runs, but it was few and far between, not enough to stem that tide. And again, man, it shows the resilience of this Toronto team. It shows that they can do it. By the way, Barger, who did not start this game. Okay. Is it Barger or Barger? Barger. Addison Barger. All right. All 6 feet, 210 pounds. Born in 1999. All right. Had 21 home runs this year, 243 average, 74 RBIs. Addison Barker, a guy who did not even start this game, comes in a big spot, and what else do you know? Delivers. All right. Huge. You can't talk about it enough. He had 2 at-bats, but the big time one was the grand slam. 324 average now for Barger. Schneider was replaced by him. Is playing left field, and Barger comes in late in the game, and again, like I said, in that 6th inning, blows it all open with that grand slam. And for me, I know I was betting on Snell, and I was betting on Savage to pull in some strikeouts. I don't know how much strikeouts Savage had tonight. I'll find out real quick. Savage ended up with 5. So I was actually right. Savage ended up with 5 strikeouts, 4 Ks, 4 innings. I was expecting him to go 4 Ks, maybe 4 or 5 innings. That was not the case, but I needed Blake Snell to have at least 5 strikeouts, and he went 5 innings, 5 earned, one home run. Now, obviously, the 5 earned, more so towards the bullpen, towards the end there. But, the Rays made that conscious decision to go to them, and they were going to use Snell in a big spot and not necessarily use him as starter. I hate to break it to you, but that's what it is, and I wish we could do more just to help you out. Yeah. But so much to unpack. Obviously, it's a big win for Toronto. You look forward to game 2 here, and listen, they start the series in Toronto, albeit it's a shellacking type of game, 11-4. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't come back in the series. You can't, make ground and you're just on the series and change face. It's out there. It's out there if you want it to be. You just got to go out and get it. You got to go out and get it. And understand that, a series not won or lost in one game. You have to stay the course. You have to do what you set out to do. And listen, man, have some faith. Have some faith in your team and what you're about and what you're capable of doing. These things matter. All right, these things matter. But what a hell of a start, for the Toronto Blue Jays. All in all, having home field advantage in the World Series, having a game up on the Dodgers, they took advantage. They did it. You Savage. It's pretty much what I expected out of him. 4 innings tonight, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. I really did not expect anything more than that. I really didn't, from him. 5, 6 innings, maybe. And even then, is it necessary to keep it in that lone tone format? It's not like you're keeping a secret from anybody. We know the deal. We know what's going on. If you want to take a little extra time and break, you take a little extra time and break. It's all good. But don't throw people on the rug here. And certainly in this scenario for the Dodgers and Blue Jays, listen, I just think it's truly a matter of the coach out-coaching the other. In this case, the supervisor out-coaching the rest of the lab and, kind of, being communicative of what is going on a daily basis. Those things matter, man. And they have shown you the complete opposite. So we'll see. We'll see if the Dodgers have what it takes to come back in this series now, down 0-1. In my opinion, still the better offensive team, no doubt. Do they have the question marks at the pitching? Sure they do. But this team was built for the postseason. There's no if and buts about it. And if you see what Ohtani did in the last series, putting up 3 home runs, was it 6 innings, 10 Ks? I mean, that in itself is just absolutely absurd. We are witnessing some of the greatest talent in sports history that ever has taken storm in our daily climate. Not only our daily climate, but our national climate. Just everything. And I think people really start to need to zero in on this and cater to us as employees and things like that. As much as we are willing to work with you around your times, things like that, we're also trying to make it as easier for you. For something like that, person that's been sitting there for a long time and then having come in here and not have any inkling on what's going on, that's an example of miscommunication. That's an example of just, putting out a bad product, a product in which you don't believe in. Like, don't let that happen. Don't let that come to fruition. And that's what's going on now. I almost have like this odd sense of obligation to talk on a more political climate and aspect of what things are taking place in our day and age. And I really do want to talk about it. I really do. But inherently, I am scared to take that route because I'm worried about the potential feedback that I would receive from those who are against it. So I'm hesitant. Truly, I am. Let me get rid of this viewer over here. Whoever you are. What was it? Subdue Be Crease? Who the hell are you, man? Stop spamming my chat as if it freaking matters, asking me to freaking, buy more viewers, whatever it is the case, man. I don't need that shit. All right. Let's play a little music. Let's get this night going. All right. We're coming up on an hour right now on the stream. All right. We're just about to hit the full hour. So I appreciate you as always. Keep showing up. A little Friday night, New York Knicks. Knicks win against the Celtics. The vibes are good, everybody. 105-95. Well, I'll get into the Knicks and probably end the night off soon, shortly after that. And just give you my takes because it's been a little bit. We haven't streamed a sports show in, I think it was about like 10 days, something like that. And, I just want to give my take on the sports season going over and just basketball in general. Of course, my Knicks, but just the whole basketball landscape. Obviously, I started off the show with the whole gambling scheme with Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and everything that's taking place with that. And listen, that is an ongoing investigation. We will see. Sorry, I have the hit. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have the hiccups a little. Oh my God, I can't shake it. Sorry. It's been a long night, man. I tell you. But let's get some little background music, if you will, for you guys right now. Hey. Hey, all right. That makes me feel good. I like to hear it, baby. Hey. Hey. Woo! All right. Damn straight, it's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio, episode 43. All right, we're talking a little World Series Game 1. Well, we pretty much recapped it. Not too much to talk about with that. The Blue Jays being there first time in a long time. You're talking about early 90s that the Toronto Blue Jays, you're talking about the days of Pedro Martinez, the home line, in which this team really took shape and really took form and took the league over by storm. And now you're seeing a bit of a shift, but you're seeing the dynasty of the Los Angeles Dodgers. you're seeing what they're capable of, not only through the regular season, but into the postseason, and how they're constantly showing you that, this team was clearly built for the long haul. It was clearly built for a postseason. And while we didn't have that same type of energy, which we needed going back to last year, we made through. It's all good. The vibes are all right. And hey, man, that's all I can say. Going forward, we have a little bit on the dock before I kind of do a closing segment out for tonight's show, as I am getting to that point. Going forward, we will have on a first time, now second time, guest Kevin McCloskey, ultra runner. He will be talking about his experience recently running a 100-mile race, and then following that up with a 26.2-mile marathon on the road in Jersey in less than a week, in which he accomplished his magnificent feat of accomplishing a 100-mile race. We will have him on shortly this week, not tonight, of course, but this week, so keep those notifications on. As always, I appreciate you. And then some. For our Knicks, just a quick prediction, a quick touch on things like that. All right. And, I know I played it off the top of the show. All right. But my New York Knickerbockers, this is the time. All right, this is the time as a Knicks fan to really start to get excited. We have been under that delusion, in years past, and expecting them to be great and to do great things, but I truly do believe that this is the time to be excited as a Knicks fan going forward. With that being said, do I think there needs to be improvements? Sure. And we'll see what those improvements are as the season develops. Obviously, we're just 2 games in, man. And a big win against the Celtics tonight. What was it again? Rather convincingly, as far as I understand. 105-95 win. Got outscored by Boston in the first quarter, 30-22. And then absolutely trounced them in the second quarter, 42-12. And then third quarter comes around, pretty even keel. Boston outscores New York 28-18. They even outscored them in the fourth, 30-23. But again, not enough. There was just so much of a gap early on in this game, and it showed. It showed in the resemblance of how they play and what the scheme is and how they want to incorporate other players. I don't even care that I lost my $30 bet tonight because one of mine did not hit, but it wasn't the only one, that's for sure. And listen, at the end of the day, you do what's best for you. You do what you think is necessary. Do not pressure patients or anybody in a position of power, potentially. Rather your own civilian, your own mother. Do not put them in a scenario in which, hey, you could potentially be fucking up and doing some harm more than rather doing some good. I think that's a fine line that we need to toe a lot of times, and, we stray away from. I don't know why. I think there's a lot of merit and accountability that is involved in terms of just, hey, listen, I kind of made a mistake. I messed up. It's not always the thing you want to hear, but at the end of the day, it's more honesty than anything. So, That's all I have to say for you folks. But enjoy yourself on this Friday night. All right, a lot going on. We are at the 12:30 hour in this Eastern time. I'm shot, man. It is, there's really truly a lot that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Ohtani's 3 home run performance, 10 strikeouts, 6 innings, how he's, potentially the greatest player to ever play the game. And I truly stand by that. There's a lot to talk about in terms of WNBA. There's announcements about the Women's Professional Baseball League. I did want to get into that and talk about that. There's just so much. But mainly, I just want to touch the basics today. Obviously, Game 1, New York, Los Angeles Dodgers, and, Toronto Blue Jays. So, we'll see. The Jays get the better hand of the Dodgers, but I would not count this Dodgers team out any moment. They are far more capable of making that dinner if they truly wanted to. So, don't hold them accountable. They leave when they leave. But that's what it is, man. So, listen. Everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. I truly appreciate you, whether you're watching us live or in post. Please like, comment, follow, and subscribe. I think I'm done, man. I think I'm done for the day. Again, I try to get back on this weekend. We'll talk a little bit more. I'll get you my updated picks for this upcoming week in the NFL season. We'll go over last week's picks as well. So, again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. All the engagement, everything, just, positive, negative, it really doesn't even matter. Just what matters to us is that I hear from you. I hear the feedback. I'm constantly learning how to better myself, and not only for myself, but for my team, the whole nine. So, any criticism is surely welcomed. And, listen, if you're going through a hard time in your own life right now, things gotten you down, reach out to me, whether it be privately, whether it be on the show, the whole nine. Let me know what's going on, because the reason why I say it is because I care, and I love you. I had posted a video recently, and I finished off with that, how, I love you as the viewer, and I know it's easy to just kind of throw that to the wayside and not acknowledge it and all that, but for me, it really truly made my day. If I can make her, who she is just firecracker of a personality, but lovely lady. If I could just make things easier for her in that moment and provide a little bit more hotbacks, whatever it is, what have you. We're here willing to do that. So, these are the things. These are the little things. This is what it's all about. This is about what living life is. Ray, I appreciate you, for stopping by the desk and helping out today. Anybody, again, watching that on post, thank you. All right. You got my name on there. You got your name on. It's all good. Everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's been a hell of a show. We've been going on for a little bit over an hour. And not going to lie, pretty toast. Pretty shot on my part. Very happy to see the Knicks, with another win despite the lack of production from some of the bench members. But again, I think it's going to take some time to gel, and we'll get there as a lab. So I don't think it's too much to worry about. Man, I love you. I really wish you come through. You hit me up as always. All right. Well, everybody, for you that are watching now with me, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's been a hell of a long night. Keep showing up as always. This is episode 43. Okay, whether you catching it with us live or in post, please comment your thoughts about the show and about us going forward. What can I do to help improve the show? What is something that you would be interested in watching? We are all ears, so please let me know. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio, calling out, ending the night, putting it to an end. That's it, baby. All right, everybody. Until next time, keep showing up.
I've been known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead, picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Everybody takes a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company.
All right, everybody. I will see you this weekend.
Isn't it lovely?
We will talk some more sports, a little bit of everything that's going on. Keep showing up as always. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Sports Radio. Have a good night as always.